Imagine police stops a vehicle for speeding. There are 3 occupants inside the car. With consent of the driver and the owner of the vehicle, they search inside the car. They find narcotics. Now, does the officer have probable cause to arrest the driver or all 3 occupants of the car if nobody takes responsibility for the drugs? In this video, we're dealing with the Supreme Court case Maryland versus Pringle. And no, not this Pringle, which by the way is one of my favorite logos of all time because of the mustache. Now you already know the scenario. 3 individuals inside the car, they get pulled over for speeding, and the officer finds narcotics. By the way, just to add a little bit more facts, the narcotics were 5 baggies of cocaine, and they were found between the back seat and the back seat armrest when it was in the up position. Now, during the stop, none of the occupants took responsibility for the drugs. So the officer arrested all 3 occupants. When they were taken to the station, Mr. Pringle waived his Miranda rights, which was a big mistake, and confessed that it was his narcotics. Now, before trial, his attorney makes an argument that the initial arrest was without probable cause. After all, the officer did not know which of the occupants actually committed a felony in possession of narcotics. Let's start with the basics. The Fourth Amendment protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. Of course, arresting a person is a seizure of that person. In order for the officers to arrest an individual, they must have probable cause that a felony has been committed. There is no question that a felony has been committed in this case, because in the state of Maryland, possessing cocaine is a felony. The sole question remains whether the officers could pinpoint that it was Mr. Pringle, who was the front seat passenger inside the vehicle, who committed that felony. Now we know that Mr. Pringle eventually confessed to the crime, but the question is whether there was probable cause at the time of the arrest. Because if the arrest is deemed unconstitutional, then anything that follows, all the evidence derived from that unconstitutional arrest, must be suppressed at trial, under the fruits of the poisonous tree doctrine. However, the Supreme Court tells us, because we're dealing with an automobile, where occupants often engage in common enterprise, and because any or all occupants of the vehicle under these circumstances could have had knowledge or had dominion and control over cocaine, all 3 occupants can get arrested. I hope you learned a couple of lessons from this case. Number 1, if you're an occupant inside the vehicle, you take a risk that other occupants can bring something illegal inside the vehicle. And even if you're the innocent party, you can still get arrested for it if nobody takes responsibility for the illegal activity. Now, I hope that the prosecutor eventually dismisses the case against you if you're actually innocent, or you might have to take the case to trial to prove your innocence. And second, you have the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. So when the officers read you your Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. So do it. There is no reason to be confessing to crimes and later have your defense attorney go through the mental exercise in proving that that interview should have never happened. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so next time I post, you'll be first to know.